Gut, Aufnahme starten. Perfect. So, okay, we move forward. I hope you like the case study. Yeah, okay, Now we go towards a circular society. Yeah? We will define the circular society. What is it? So it is a systemic model which redefines interaction between economics, communities, and ecosystem. It prevents, again, the waste, regenerates resources, but more it puts the attention towards the social justice and a cultural change to create really resilient infrastructures and inclusive systems. It encompasses also the businesses, the citizens, politicians, communities, educators, NGOs, culture. So it's more inclusive one, also not only in social acceptance of several circular economy solutions, but it's also more participatory in the decision-making process. Yeah? You remember I told about the circular economy with Ellen MacArthur butterfly diagram. Basically what it's about the material and energy resources being circulated into the system. But what is interesting here, you can see on the top part, where is my, here. Here you see basically the system which allows us to circulate materials and energies. But what is interesting here, there is another system to allow wealth, power, technology, and knowledge to circulate within the system. And that's an interesting difference between circular economy and circular society. So whenever we talk about the cities and regions to be circular, then it's not only about the materials and the energy. Also within the supply chains and logistics, we need citizen participation, technology transfer, and also the integrative material flow analysis within actually the system dynamics. The principles of circular society are threefold. The participation, that means that the decision-making process is more inclusive. The justice, fair distribution and resources and opportunities, but also sustainability in an overall term with high environmental standards and resource efficiency. Actually, the vision is quite forward. I have talked about it for many times. We need a kind of prioritization of quality of life. And believe me, whenever you talk about sustainability or circular economy, this quality of life is really very much neglected, unfortunately. Challenging dominant economic paradigms, and that's exactly what we need, how the prices are being done, basically. Yeah? We know about the production and consumption systems, but how do they interact with each other? Empower the citizens to take over the decisions. Those are the key factors to shape our sustainable future. The four approaches to circular society are indeed also here you can see it's more about the transformation. It's not about the transition, so kind of to somehow change the system, but it's more going into the deeper transformation system. Most important key element here, I would say, we talked about the strengthening sufficiency, but redefine the value. And that's, I think, a very important thing when it comes to the prices. What do you pay for something? Surely it has to have a value for you. And that's exactly where circular society has to know the values, not only specific products, but also services, and also the cultural value of some products and services you are consuming. The 10 strategies are actually very close to the circular economy strategies, re-evaluating, relocalizing, and the localization I have talked about quite a lot, redistributing the values, shortening the supply chains. And I think one of the case studies here in Farm has also mentioned in one point that through this kind of a system like an in-farm, the supply chain is being really shortened. And that's about making the more complex systems more easy to understand. Smartening, surely, and it's also about digital technologies to be used for not only shortening the supply chains is important, but also the transparency is very important. There are 4 circular society models. I will just go through them very, very quickly. Policy and governmental models. Here, extended producer responsibility, ERP, is a very important model, which is nowadays, very anchor, I would say, is an anchor in the European Union Green Deal policy. Have you ever heard of that, extended producer responsibility? What have you heard?
I heard that it takes the producer and puts responsibility on them to produce with ethics in mind and things like that?
Exactly. It's not only about the ethics in mind, but also to take the responsibility after the product is broken. Yeah, so kind of repair or extend the life of the product. So that's the producer responsibility. It's going towards the producer more. Have you ever heard of DAFNAT economy? I will have a look whether I have. Oh, I haven't taken it with me, but it's okay. So what is a DAFNAT economy? It's very, very close to the philosophy of strong sustainability. Have you heard of strong sustainability? VS weak sustainability model. It's very important because the difference between circular economy and circular society basically is also somehow lays in the ground of the difference of strong and weak sustainability. Weak sustainability is actually that we say that economy, environment, and social aspects have the equal weights for us. Whereas strong sustainability says no. No society, no economy can survive without environment. So basically the difference is that we don't take the 3 bubbles of sustainability, just crossing each other, like very typical what we see in the models, but we make one big bubble, environment, and the rest is in between of this big bubble. Yeah, so everything is given, priority is given to the environment. One of the interesting prime ministers of US said, bolding, he said, if you think that economy is more important than environment, try to count your money while holding your breath. I think it's a very interesting thing to see how the strong sustainability in reality works. And why I'm saying that? Because DAFNAT economy is really very close to strong sustainability. All the environmental, ecological services are in the biggest, larger bubble. Then it comes the economic prosperity, and then in between is the social one. The other ones are circular economy foundation, basically going towards product as a service, like I have told about this one, industrial symbiosis as well. And the other one, cradle to cradle, is more, I would say, a method or a philosophy how to calculate the CO2 emissions. So it's actually going not only cradle to gate, that means from raw materials production towards the consumption, but afterwards, again, how the materials and energy might go back to the system. So cradle to cradle is the entire supply chain or the value chain of a product. Social and community-led models are quite, I would say, straightforward: sharing and collaborative consumption, repair and upscaling, and local systems. The regenerative ones, the fourth one, are more or less the agroecology. As Benjamin said, if you are interested, you could learn this more from him. And urban mining, I don't know whether Daniel Goldman is going to give another lecture here, but urban mining, I think, is the key for him. He has got 4 large projects just last month through positive evaluation process. So I don't want to talk about this quite a lot. Okay, very nice. Extended responsibility, producer responsibility, I had already talked about it, and that is actually the DAFNet economy. So I indeed had this picture with me. As said, on top you see the ecological ceiling with climate change, freshwater withdrawals or whatever. Then we go towards the safe and just space for humanity, and then the social foundations, like actually the provisioning systems for each society. And the provisioning systems are basically mobility, food, health, education, and so on. So this is the DAFNet one. I was wondering, I had this picture with me. The transition to a sustainable circular society is more than just resource efficiency. So what is it about? There are, and I think this picture is really very nice one, because it shows that basically in reality we have 7 cycles. And all these cycles should be considered in the circular society. Those are the biochemical cycles, like we have in nature: carbon, water, nitrogen, and phosphorus, and all these should be maintained within planetary boundaries. The ecosystem cycles are the biodiversity, regeneration, and ecological services, which, without which we will not be able to survive. And exactly that is the difficulty to give a value to kind of, like I said, the internalization of externalities. Because if we say CO2 might have this price, what is the price of ecological services? And that's the very difficult thing to come up with a price with. Resource cycles, I think, is straightforward. What is interesting, and now we see here some kind of soft factors or societal factors coming into the game, and those are the power cycles. Power cycles are very interesting, because we see nowadays that we have, again, somehow, I don't want to be quite political, but we see that the right policy is taking a little bit advantage, not only in Germany, but elsewhere. And it's not because of a kind of, surely it is dependent on economic values or economic situation, but what we are saying or seeing, the history repeats itself. And these power cycles will be repeating themselves as well. Very much dependent on wealth cycles, redistribution, fair ownership, reducing inequality. What is also very important is knowledge and knowledge cycles. And here to highlight, we have to have an open access to technology, education, innovation, and common-based knowledge. The last point are the care cycles. So those are the social reproduction, community ties, and basically the societal cycles. These cycles are independent from each other, and they can happen without being dependent, indeed, with each other. And each of them, if it's being disrupted, it disrupts the sustainability in general, in total. So with that, we could see that out of 7 cycles, 3 were more technical and more economic or technical based, but the other 4 more than social than cultural circularity. I was just on Monday on a PhD defense, and that was really very interesting to see from business administration point of view. The PhD candidate has done his PhD in cultural identification of 7 different countries and its impact on artificial intelligence in companies, doing a survey of 800 different companies. And that was really very interesting to see that the culture and societal effects would really have a very strong impact on even implementation of technologies in companies. So with that, the cultural circularity refers to how values, traditions, and social norms influence circular behavior, and also the repair, sharing, and or reduction in general. It bridges historical practices and modern sustainability very much. I think basically with this, I would leave you, and we would be just in time. The last thing which you could have a look at, those are only 2 slides. There is already roadmap to circular society with 8 points, which is actually, exactly, Hans Sauer Stiftung, social design by 2023. So you could download this and have a look at it. Each point is really written in a very detailed way. So this is for a very first time in Germany as a roadmap and anchored in a roadmap of a policy of Lower Saxony. Have a look at it, and if you have any questions, just I think it wouldn't be a big issue for you to find my email, and just let me know. Would be happy to get back. Don't take this 2.5 hours as exclusive. I'm still here and would be very happy to answer your questions. Thank you for your attention. Just a very quick feedback round, if it's okay. I would like to know with the case studies. Did you like the case studies? Sorry.
Get off the recording.
I am.
So before you all present your opinion that you might not would like to have on YouTube, please be rest assured whatever you give as feedback now will not either positively or negatively impact your grade. But first of all, thank you very much for this very nice lecture, and I hope you enjoyed it very much to not just listening to me and Shintan all the time. So thank you very much, and I hope you learned a lot. We'll cut the recording now, and then of course, as usual, like there's first of all like questions and feedback towards Anni, and then also like if there's anything else, of course we are here as always. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
And